Hi, everybody. I hope you can see me. All an experiment. As you probably have heard, Facebook changed the way you Zoom into live. It's a pretty new experience for me, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's get going. Is talk about embracing AI and getting you to help you to use AI to grow your business and just save you some time. That's what I find is the biggest benefit, is the time saving. I'm going to be able to share my screen now, which I hope is still going to work. And I'm going to go over to Canva and go through a brief presentation for you. And then we'll go and get onto a live demo of ChatGPT, which is where I'll test out some prompts and show you how you can use it. It may just be a not too great version of it. Let me just make that bigger for you to see. You might have to see some of my instructions. Then I'll work with it next time. So let me just go back into here again. I can share my screen. Embracing AI. The idea of artificial intelligence is not new. It goes back thousands of years to ancient philosophers considering questions of life and death. Inventors made things called automatons, which were mechanical and moved independently of human intervention. Think of a very basic robot or like a mechanical toy. The earliest records of these comes in 400 BC. So as I said, it goes back thousands of years. This was another example of very early automatons. And this was created by Leonardo da Vinci. That was called the mechanical knight. And its arms moved and its legs moved. While being able to get a machine to function independently of human intervention, which is what AI is all about, I'm not going to look at the history anymore. We're going to move forward and see where you can get to using 21st century AI. But the Pandora's box is now open and AI is here to stay. It's not going to go away. The lid is open and everybody can see it. It isn't going to close, which makes now the perfect time for you to embrace AI and start to understand how it can benefit you. ChatGPT was launched on the 30th of November 2022. And since then, AI has taken off like a rocket. However, whether you realize it or not, you've been dealing with AI for a long time. All those chatbots, which can be quite irritating at times in some of their answers, or automatically generate replies. And those chatbots have been very useful in terms of filling the gap, but not having a complete team. And that's how I want you to think about approaching AI in terms of using it for your business. Think of it as a marketing assistant, an additional team member to help you grow. Many low-quality publishers and content mills spent most of 2023 producing websites based on AI. And when I take you to ChatGPT, you can see how they did it. There's a place there that makes it very easy. However, last month, Google decided to do away with all this. What it did was it penalized hundreds of websites of low-quality AI clones, basically, and spam content, most of which are generated via AI tools. And website went from millions of monthly views down to very few, as you can see. It suddenly dropped like a cliff overnight. For them, AI content was a short-term play with long-term consequences. So you do need to be careful how and when you use AI. These are just some of the AI apps you can look at. ChatGPT is going to be the one that we're looking at today. And ChatGPT and Gemini, which was originally called Bard and is by Google, are very similar. ChatGPT is a little more formal. Some people think it sounds a little arrogant in tone. And Gemini, which is what the Google AI app is now called, is a bit more chatty and a bit less formal. The other difference is that you can do things free on the Google version, but you can't do on the ChatGPT. You have to pay for. Let me stop the share of this. And what I do now want to do is share my screen and go into ChatGPT for you. This is where we're going to get to the practical part. And I'm going to try a few different things that will show you what you can do and how it can help you. And I and my team use it for very different things and some very simple things. And it's just to save time and help us. If you haven't seen it before, this is ChatGPT. And I've got a paid version, which is about $20 a month, which is roughly £16 in today's currency exchange rate, English pounds, probably about 18 euros if you're in Europe. This gives you an idea of what it looks like. And I got the paid version for a reason I'll show you later, but you can use the free version. The main difference is that it says it works faster if you pay. It works very quickly anyway, I found when I was using the version that wasn't free. But also you can upload documents onto, if you've got the paid version, whereas you have to copy and paste if you're using the free version. I've tried the upload and it doesn't always work. I will be copying and pasting documents today because that's how you'd use them anyway. I thought I'd start with something really simple. And what I use and my team use it for is adding emojis and hashtags to Facebook posts. I'm not great at emojis, put it down to age, or I just don't think about it. I'm too busy concentrating on the words. What I've just done, and I use it a lot for this, is I'm just going to copy this and just insert this in. And I'll just roll this up so you can see it. All I say is, please add emojis and hashtags to this Facebook post. And what I've done is it's a post that I can use tomorrow. That was my Grammarly coming up, which is another AI app. Yesterday, I did a live with my Facebook group on AI, showing different ways you could use ChatGPT. And just saying next week, I'll do another live. And you can see there's no hashtags, there's no emojis. All I just do is click here. ChatGPT goes, it tells you what it's doing always. And it's added that little AI robot. Particularly useful when you get fed up talking to yourself, someone to bounce ideas off. And you can see it added some really nice emojis and hashtags. Very simple to do. And you can always refer back to these because they come up on the side in terms of what you do. That's one way to use it, the really simple one. Another way is to use it to brainstorm, to get ideas. But one of the things I find that my clients really struggle with, and I'm going to go back so it's not in the same stream, go back to the start, is identifying that ideal client. I've had a friend of mine who's an acupuncturist and teaches meditation do me 100 to 200 words describing her ideal client. And then I've added a prompt, which is the instructions you give ChatGPT to expand this. And this is what I've added. And it gave me her little description. And above that, I've put in, please can you help make this ideal client profile real with a background story of the day-to-day life or why this person would want or need a weekly meditation class. And obviously you can do this, you have to instruct it as though you're talking to a marketing assistant or a very junior person in your group or team, and you need to explain exactly what you want. Please make it a real person, preferably female, and give them a name and a family background. This was Anya's description. Target audience for weekly meditation class. The main focus is for beginners and inexperienced meditators who haven't meditated. This is what Anya wrote. All of whom are not quite sure what to do, frame of mind, i.e. how to get started, how to restart a meditation practice, and feel like they're doing something practical and meaningful with real results. These were the bullet points she gave me on this. Inspiring meditators who are beginners, I've heard. You can see this is very generic. What problems they want solved, what is their challenge, they're faced or facing stressful, difficult times and struggling to think straight, or they feel they're stuck in a hole. This was Anya's description. Now, I absolutely believe that if you can make this person more real, one, you can use it as story examples, but also you get more out of it. You get a real person that you can envisage when you're doing your writing and you're writing your post, and you can write to that person. I have used this one once before when I was doing a demonstration previously, so we'll see what happens this time. I'll be really interested to see if it comes out with the same thing. Okay, I've put in that 100 to 200 word description, and I put in my prompt, and now I'm just going to ask it to go away and do this for me. And it's thinking about it. So let's carve comprehensive persona for your ideal client. Well, it has come up with a different, whether it's made them a digital marketing specialist, we don't know why. And you can see it's actually coming up with day-to-day life. It's the whole story. Why she needs meditation. So that's hung for a bit. It's still running. But remember, I'm zooming this live and running this at the same time. So you can see it's pretty fast in terms of what it does, which is why I'm quite happy to do it on live. It's actually giving you reasons why a weekly meditation class would appeal to her, to our ideal person, Emily. And then it's finished. So you can see we've now got a really good description of Emily Carter, who's age 34, is a digital marketing specialist. She's married to Tom, an IT consultant. They have 2 children who are 5 and 3. She comes from a supportive family, but has always carried the pressure of being the eldest child, often feeling the need to set a good example. They've really built up a full story around this that you can use. I'm suggesting that if you've got a vague outline of your ideal client, you could use something like ChatGPT or Gemini, if you prefer, or any of the others, and we have several others that do the same kind of thing, to build out a real picture and describe this person, how busy that Emily is, how busy her evenings are, why she needs meditation. And you could use some of these thoughts and information to start to build your picture and use it yourself. Now here, you can read it, they will read it aloud to you. I won't do that because it can be a bit annoying. You can copy it. You can regenerate it. What I might ask you to do is continue the whole stream. This is called a stack, or we can continue the stack. I could also develop it into other things on the stack, but I'll show you that later on. But this one will say, give me a well, let's enter these brilliant meditation classes. And I'm also polite. I don't know why I say please and thank you, but I'm always very polite to ChatGPT. I do treat it as like it's another person. That may be a little sad, I know. Let's click this again. Age 29. Simon Hughes is a junior architect. Single, lives in a city apartment. This is interesting. Disconnected from his family. Well, let's say we come early to exercise. You can see how quickly these come up with this. So if you've been struggling to develop a story around your ideal client, try using ChatGPT. It really could help you. And Anya, I will send these all to you. I'll copy them and send them to you so you have these. And thank you for letting me use your outline. But you can see from those 100 to 200 words how much information we've now got about how we could just weave a story around what they're doing, use these examples, use this up. You can think about in terms of how you can develop your ideal client. Is this conversation so far helpful? And I'm going to give it a thumbs up and say thank you. And it comes back and says, it is very chatty. We do get used to it. Chatting backwards and forwards, you get quite used to doing that. One of the things you will see on all of these, and you can see it on Canvas, you can see it on everybody's AI, is that they can make mistakes. So consider checking important information. It's really important that you do. If you're putting some factual information out there, make sure you can verify it. Because they're using information on the internet. And as we know, not all the information on the internet is accurate. I hope that helped you. Now, one of the things that people complain about with ChatGPT and some of the other AI apps, they don't capture you. They're not really you as you work through them. They're someone more generic. But you can train it to think like you or talk like you if you want to. And that's what I'm going to show you now. Let's go back to the beginning again. I'm going to go and pick up one of my prompts again. And this one I've called a style guide prompt. And what I want to do is then instruct it to design a style guide for me. And a style guide will actually help it put you in the picture of its answers so you can use that more effectively. And I'll show you where I use this. What I've asked it to do is please create a person style guide I can use for my custom instructions for ChatGPT. Use the following resources to create that guide. And I've given it links to my website and some particular blogs on my website where I'd like it to pick up. And then include the following types of information: the voice that I use, the tone, the humor, my sentence structure, perspective, any other details they need. That was a bit generic. And then please use UK English, which I have to say it does ignore most of the time. It keeps going into American. But that's a small thing I'll have to live with. And what I've used this for is, if you can see under my picture over here on the left, if I click on that, I have customized ChatGPT. I can also create my own GPTs, and this is because I have the paid version. And in the customized area, what I did was copy in the information that it gave me when it developed this style guide. And I can also tell it to how it would respond and to enable it for new chats as well. But you can see how you can make it more and more like you. We'll see how this works, and it's the types of information it's going to produce. Again, just click on it. And you have to go away and think about this. Now, it's going to have to check my website, so it's going to take a little more time to do that. But it will eventually come through with a style guide. And I will use that style guide to help there's different websites for data information. But if you search John Crabbe's youth profile, you've shared all the typical content brand on much. I may need to actually open my website in Chrome for it to access it easily. It's giving me a basic style guide. It's called a UK English style guide. But I'm going to use it I directly here in your. It's got some things that I will definitely use in terms of how you'd want to put my style guide together. I've then added things in. I could add in that I'm a horse lover. I could add in that I live in Portugal now, although I was born in the UK, and add lots of other things in to make it richer and make it more like me. And this is what you can do to help train it. Now, once you've done this, you have picked up. Well, I'm a marketing person, obviously, because I've got marketing in the title of my blog and things like that. Well, let's say, show me what I do a client or a marketing coach. And I'm just going to ask it to do that. Because this is in the same stack, use some of the information that's already developed and let's see what it comes up with now. Let's just give me an ideal current. And actually, these things are that people that are real. Well, it hasn't given me the personality because I haven't asked it to tell me a story and identify it as an individual. It's giving me a very generic type person. You can see how easy it is to use these things. But I just wanted to show you that you didn't have to organize develop them. Clear instructions are important. If it gets it wrong, you could just ask it to correct. And if you wanted to still use that tone of voice that it's picked up from your articles or a blog that you've attached in there, it's a really good way to do that. Because producing authentic content is really important, if you do have a blog, one of the easy things you can do is, again, copy into ChatGPT one of your blogs and ask it to develop social media posts from it. It's your writing, you own it, it's authentically yours, because that's the way you've written it. And pulling out some social media posts is what you would get someone to do. You're just going to use ChatGPT or its equivalent to help you and save you some time. Repurposing your content that way is a really good way to use any of these AI tools. The other thing I wanted to show you was explore GPTs. And this is an interesting one. I'm going to click on that. And you can see, this is what I was talking about. GPT for website creation, design, and copywriting. Code integrated with DALL-E 3. This is what probably people were using who have now been penalized by Google. But AI PDF, securely store and chat with order PDFs for free. So that's quite easy. And they've got some of these automated writer ones. The copywriters who are watching this, if any of you are copywriters, are probably cringing. But using it as a base and then changing it is not a problem. Sometimes you just need something to give you some ideas, to brainstorm, just to kick you off, and then you can change it. The fact it doesn't necessarily come out in your voice isn't exactly what you want. If it gives you just a base that saves you some time, I think it's well worth the effort. And obviously Canva, I click on that, start chat. I can then use Canva from here. And I'm just going to use this about inspirational quote for social. So I'm going to click on that, send that to social media. And this is Canva responding. You can see you have access to all these other things as well. What specific quote would you like now to ask me for a quote? I'm going to use the one that's behind me. If not now, when? Let's see what it comes up with this. I had to allow it to access Canva. Here's the design and creative for inspirational quote. Not sure I really like that image. This is what I say. The technology is new and improving. Please report these results. Nah, give that one a thumbs down. Don't like the stone. As I said, this is the early stages. It doesn't always work. I'm never convinced about the images particularly. I'll either go into Canva and use my own or create some images from something else we've got or use photos. I think that's really covered everything I wanted to do on ChatGPT. We've done the exploring. As I say, you can make it more personalized by upgrading your account or just putting everything you want in a stack. If you really want to keep asking it questions, if you put it in a stack, so if we go back to this stack of the style guide, if I keep adding questions on here, I can add a question after a question, give me some social media posts. And certainly here's social media posts. So you can do lots of things. Success story. And obviously we need to make sure these are true and real. But it just can give you a tip Tuesday, boost your engagement. Do you know the videos? So some of these are quite usable. I could use those. And it even gives a suggestion for the visual you could create. It's really using a very strong recommendation of the kind of format, the live Q&A, announcement, a client testimonial, an interactive quiz. Those are all the things that do work in social media. As I said, each of the posts is crafted to engage different aspects of your clients and your clients' interests, educational content and success stories, to interactive elements and personal engagement opportunities. And this variety helps maintain interest and maximize engagement across your social media platforms. And that would be the recommendation I would give to people on their social media as well. That was as far as I wanted to go today, because otherwise we could go on forever and ever, keep testing it and keep trying different things. I did just want to show you how you can easily use it for some very simple things. I hope you found that useful. Bye, everyone.